In the beginning, God created the heavens and He created the earth. He created every living thing upon the earth. Thousands of years later, along comes myself, Ed Waters, and I created FreeCircle so I could bring you the fireside. We want to bring you truth with integrity, insight that's right, and stories that matter the most today. So climb on in, buckle up, let's take a ride on the fireside.
Let's talk about the cracks. The cracks of society that people fall in because they get lost. They get misguided. They don't understand what they're getting into. And they fall prey or victim to the cracks of society. It's not easy coming out of the cracks once you fall into the cracks of society. And if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, pray that you never get in the cracks of society. People get lost there. They get in this hopeless mode. They get lost and they don't feel worthy of coming out of the cracks. Instead of looking out over a level, even playing field, they have to look up out of the cracks. They call them minority most of the time. They always want to label situations. Each and every one of us fall prey to certain situations, but really we have to look at ourselves to be able to pull ourselves out of the cracks. It's not easy to do, and it's really ugly sometimes to look at yourself, because when you look at yourself, it's not easy to really be honest with yourself. You've got to identify your weakness, you've got to identify your strength, and you've got to trust in yourself. And most of all, you've got to get up and do something. Don't let people say you can't do it, because you can. You can do whatever you choose to do. It's finding the will to do it. Climb out of the cracks, my friends. It's not easy. Sometimes we need help. We all need help in this world. We want to be independent. We want to voyage through the world as independent as possible. But we all need friends. We all need guidance. And we all need the ability to understand each other. When we don't communicate effectively, we can get lost in the cracks. So we've got to learn to communicate effectively with one another. And we've got to be able to listen to each other. Hear what the other person has to say. There's wisdom there. Find it. So let's not put people in cracks because we don't understand what they need. Let's look at ourselves. Let's develop the skills that we need to overcome our weakness. Picking ourselves up and carrying on. Sometimes it's not that easy to do. But If we set ourselves goals, little tiny ones, start small, people. Don't tire yourself out. It's easy to get lost in what you're doing yourself. Sometimes we want to pile so much on ourselves that we get overwhelmed. Sometimes it takes years to truly plan something and make it happen. From the time you wake up in the morning until you lay down at night, you've got to be productive. Sometimes that's physical, sometimes that's mental. But you should always be thinking about life and what you want out of it, so you don't fall in the cracks. One thing we have to learn is to get over ourselves, our shyness, our withdrawn attitude, the ability to understand we're not alone in our situation. There's always somebody out there that has been through it. Maybe it's really hard to find, and sometimes you may be one of those very rare cases where 1 in a billion. But there's always some guidance out there, some structure that you can lean on. You've got to surround yourself with a support structure. Find those people. Implement a plan every day. And you know, myself, I suffer from fibromyalgia. And sometimes it is extremely hard for me to pull myself up and get going. But you know what? I've learned I've got to do it. Sometimes it takes me a little longer in the mornings than it usually does to get going. But even in my worst moments, I'm thinking about positivity now. I fell into that trap of negativity, and that is a crack in itself. Don't fall into that crack. So let's take a look at ourselves. Let's identify the bad things in our life, and let's eliminate that. It's not easy to do, stepping away from drugs, alcohol, sexual addictions, marital problems, family problems, the world. It's a problem. The beautiful thing about it is our mind, it's got the capability of problem solving. Calm down. Take a break and really break it down step by step. Yes, you've got this big clump of garbage in your mind. Start writing it down, or start recording it so you can listen back at what you're thinking. Always take and reflect. Reflection, it's a beautiful thing. It's one of our best tools to reflect. If we truly break down and look at what we have done, we can see what we need to keep doing or what we need to stop doing. Go out, connect, people. A lot of us, we get to be this introvert type. You've got to put yourself out there. It's hard to do. It's getting harder in the world because people don't agree and they don't know how to communicate effectively. They're being withdrawn into electronics and I don't know. You need to set those down once in a while and face to face actually talk to people. Understand who you are surrounding yourself with, what you are surrounding yourself with, how effective are you using your time. That's a key right there. Let's start pulling ourselves out of the crack. How we do that is start looking at ourselves, break it down, set up a plan, little tiny steps. Let's get out of the cracks, my friends. You are a beautiful person. You have something to give back. Once you start giving back, you receive more and more. Don't talk negative about people. Always be open and willing to listen. We all love to talk. Let's learn to listen. That right there alone, if we learn to listen, it's going to start pulling those people out of those cracks. We can do it. One baby step at a time. Get out there. Get something done. Don't take advantage. Give advantage. Don't be a putter downer. Be a lifter upper. Enjoy your day. Well, that does it for another episode of the FreeCircle Fireside. Thanks for listening in, and make sure you come back next time listening to our next episode. You never know what we have to say right here on the Fireside. Like always, share us out. Get involved. Tell your family, your friends. Most of all, get involved. Get over to our website, freecircle.website, and our new edition, podcast.freecircle.website. That's where we house all of our media content from all of our podcasts. Make sure you go over, check us out. While you're there, there's a survey. There's a banner at the top of the website. Click on it. It takes you to a survey for our audience. The survey is provided by PodTrack. It's a wonderful place to track your podcast. It's analytics at its best. Get over to PodTrack, check it out, and please fill out our survey so we can know you, our audience, a little bit better and provide you with the content that you seek the most. I'm Ed with FreeCircle, and we're out.